single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way.
Good evening, ladies. Surprise, surprise. Another video within 24 hours. Maybe I'm getting better with my game here. No, seriously. The reason for this second video within 24 hours is I received an email today. So I guess putting that email address down there does work. I received an email from a young lady today. And her first question to me was, why did I start a YouTube channel? And the second question to me was, why did I wait till I was 45? Because I was 45 when I started this journey. I'm now 46. Why did I wait till I was 45 to start doing the embryo adoption process? So I will address those questions and a few more in a couple minutes. So I'm going to get myself comfortable. I'm going to get together. And as you see, I'm really comfortable because I'm in my bedroom tonight. But I'm going to get myself together. Oh, my little girl wants to make a cameo. This is Paris. Say hi, Paris. Say hi, Mama. Say hi. No? Okay, well, this is Paris. All right, you don't want to say hi? She's looking at her little brother, or her older brother, because he's older. But this is Paris. But and I will answer those questions for you guys. Just give me a couple minutes and I'll be right back. Bye. Well, I'm back. Had to get a little bit more comfortable. Had to get me some ice water. Yes, I do ice water. As much as I don't like water, I've said this in a previous vlog when I was talking about my weight loss journey. As much as I don't like water, I realize if I do it with a lot of ice, I can drink it. So I have started drinking a lot more water. But we're not discussing that. We are discussing why did I decide to open a YouTube channel. Well, it took a lot of thinking. Originally, my YouTube channel was not going to be about my infertility journey. It was actually going to be about my journey as far as my wife and I being a lesbian couple and the trials and tribulations that we go through, because we actually do go through a lot of trials and tribulations. But after realizing that I was not the only one that was going through the journey that I'm going through, that there's actually thousands and thousands of women that are going through it. They may not be my age, but there's a lot of women that are going through the same journey. I decided, why don't I commingle everything together? Now, I will tell you another person. I want to shout her out, Brianna Bellum from Life of Bellum. Like her channel. Great little inspiration. Love her channel. Love some of the things that she puts up on her channel. She's currently actually going through the same journey as myself. So I definitely would say check out Brianna Bellum on Life of Bellum if you haven't checked her out. Especially if you're younger. She's in the younger age bracket, so she's going through it. But my reasons for doing it were just, wasn't to get a big community, but I wanted to reach people who may not know of anybody else that's going through what they're going through. Something else that I noticed on my research going through YouTube, you do not see a lot of African American women over, I say roughly 30 or 35, who are either going through IVF or embryo adoption. I didn't see a lot of people who look like me. I saw a lot of the, other races that were doing it and putting it out there, and they were having success, but there was nobody for me to really, Google it at the top, put that search in the search engine, see somebody that looked like me that was going through the same journey as I was. Not only that looks like me, but that's in the same age bracket. Now, there is Simply Tanika. She's going through IVF. Love her channel also. As Simply Tanika, she's actually going through IVF again. So I love her channel also. She's, I believe, 48 now. And she's going through IVF. It's either 47 or 48. So, she's definitely inspiration. She lives in New York. I love watching her channel. Watch it faithfully. But as far as, if I could have did the IVF journey, financially wise, I know New York has a infertility clause in their insurance, so it makes it a little easier. There's several states, I believe there's seven or eight, that actually have to mandate some type of infertility coverage in their health insurance. So, I see more people and probably in those states that are partaking in the IVF, the IUIs a little more. However, unfortunately for myself and my wife, is all out of pocket. Now, my insurance does cover some of the testing, other things I have done. Of course, that's just regular lab work, things like that. They do cover that. So those parts of my insurance were covered. But for the most part, I am doing this out of pocket. So I didn't see a lot of women that were over 40 that look like me, that I was able to look at their channel and see what their struggles were as far as this infertility journey goes. So that's why I said, well, let me, even if it's not the best channels, like right now, I'm having to use my camera, but I don't even have the remote. I don't know what this move. I've misplaced the remote somewhere, so I'm having to touch it to stop it. But, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing I can change about it. As long as the message gets out there, I don't feel like it has to be like the best quality. As long as the message is getting out there. That's all I'm trying to do, is get the message out there. So that's basically, for the most part, why I started my YouTube channel, because I just wanted to reach people that I didn't see when I put in the search that were going through the same struggles as I am. Now, for part 2 of that question, which was, why did I wait until I was 45 to start the embryo adoption journey? For those of you who are already on my channels or subscribers to my channel, I think my first blog went up on July 4th. So 2 days before my 46th birthday is when my first vlog went up. I've actually been going through this journey since 1996. It's 26 years ago. 23 years ago. 1996. So since I was 23 years old. So that's when we started, you know, trying to figure out what was going on, things like that. Like I said, I was misdiagnosed at first. I was in the military, so I was going through a lot of military doctors who, you know, these weren't specialists, these weren't things like that. I wasn't approved for specialists. So you have to remember, this was in the 90s. We're talking 23 years ago. So the medical advances between then and now, I guess they knew what PCOS was. There was things that, but I wasn't going to like specialists and things like that. I was on base. I was going to base doctors. This is what they were deciding to do. I was getting the runaround. I didn't know what was going on. It probably was a 10-year window, and it really probably wasn't even 10. It was a 5-year window between me really trying to figure out what was going on and when I got proactive about what was going on. So we went from 23 years old to about 29 years old. And actually it was just before I turned 29. So let me back up a little bit. I went through, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I went through Milton Hershey Hospital. Now, Milton Hershey Hospital in Pennsylvania happens to be the hospital, if I don't know if you remember this from TLC, but John and Kate plus 8. That is the same fertility clinic that made their twins and their sextuplets come to fruition. That's the same IVF clinic that they use to make their family. So literally, I lived 20 minutes from that same clinic. I had Blue Cross Blue Shield because of my ex-spouse's job at the time, offered Blue Cross Blue Shield. So that was my secondary insurance because I was active duty military. So I used their insurance to go there, and they paid a majority of the cost as far as medications. Medications, I use Freedom Drug. They're out of Canada, so their prices were a lot cheaper. I used Freedom Drug to get my medications. I did my first round. Now, because I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, on my first round, my ovaries hyperstimulated, which means they got too big. So that was kind of basically a dead cycle. There was really nothing. I paid for the cycle. There was really nothing that they could do with that cycle. So we stopped that cycle because it just overstimulated. The second cycle, they, They adjusted my medications. Once they adjusted my medications, the second cycle was more successful. I retrieved 8 eggs, which is not a lot, but for having PCOS, I was blessed to get those 8 eggs. Out of those 8 eggs, 5 fertilized. Now, this is what happened. They decided to freeze those 5 eggs to give my ovaries and my uterus a time to kind of, they didn't want the hyperstimulation to happen again, and they were kind of scared if we did a fresh cycle that, you know, it just may not take. They wanted my body to readjust, so we froze those 5 embryos. Unfortunately, when we thawed, only 3 thawed successfully. Only 1 was of good enough quality to put back. We put back that 1 embryo. waited that dreaded 10 to 11 day wait, went back to the hospital, got the blood test. It was negative. There was no chance. There was like nothing. So, except for that, the HCG shot you take just before you go to have the embryos put back in, that's why they make you wait those days to make sure that gets out your system. So you're not getting a false positive. So, not pregnant. Like I said, between all three of that, now, even though the first two were, actually the second one was kind of a full cycle, and the third one we were just putting back in, cost me over $20,000. I did not have $20,000. I was in my late 20s. I was just in the military. Thank God for my ex-husband's insurance that was able to pay for it. But that was one of the factors that made me go through my first divorce. He continued to have children outside the marriage. He had a wife. We were together for years, could not produce any children. He decided to go on his own and produce children. That makes you feel broken. I don't care how long you think you're going through something. I don't care what you're going through in life. I don't care how successful you become in business. If you want to be a mother and it just does not happen for you, and on top of that, the person that you vow to love and to marry and to be with forever and ever, if they decide that, in my thought process, that I wasn't good enough, I felt broken. And to this day, I still feel broken. I feel like there's something wrong with me. Now, am I trying to compensate by having this child? Am I trying to compensate by going through embryo adoption? Absolutely not. But I feel like us as women, our goal here in life is to be mothers. That it's embedded in us. For the majority. There are some women who just do not have that motherly instinct. They just do not want to have children. And I will be honest, after my first marriage failed, I went through that stage. I went through, maybe it's just not meant for me. Maybe I'm just not supposed to be a mother. Let God work in the way he's going to work. I never even thought I was going to be remarried. That is in itself a miracle, because I just didn't see it. I didn't want to be remarried. I wasn't looking for that. And then around 38, I was just like, well, the baby bug is happening again. Maybe I could just be a single mother. And I thought about that for a long time. Being a single mother, people do it all the time. I'm educated. I'm a military veteran. Why can't I? It isn't like I, was struggling. I felt like I could do it, and I could do it by myself. So for saying, why did you wait till you were 45? I didn't. Actually, I started this journey back when I was 23, just to find out what the preliminaries were and what was wrong. 2001, January of 2001 is when I put my embryo back. I was just actually looking at the paperwork earlier today after I got your email to see when that was. And that transfer was done literally, it was done 2 days after Christmas of 2000. And I went for my blood work. I want to say that was the 8th of January of 2001 when I realized that I wasn't pregnant. We had discussed doing another round. We just didn't have the finances. The medications at the time ran us about $4,200. We just didn't have $42 laying around to do this all over again. So our primary goal was, let's save up some money. Let's try it again. I'm still young. We could try it again. Let's try it again in about 3 more years. Well, within that 3 years, the marriage crumbled. There was just no reason for it. So I never did it again. And like I said, then I went through that phase of, I'm just not going to have a child. I'm not going to worry about it. But then, like I said, you just kind of get this clock that's inside of you, and it starts ticking again. And it's like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And I'm not trying to be like anybody else. Like, I think I mentioned to Janet Jackson last night in my vlog about her being 50. And, you see people like Halle Berry. She was 46 when she had her son. You see people that use a donor. Well, not really a donor. They use a surrogate. But, you look at people who are using surrogates and everything to have their babies older. I mean, look at Angela Bassett. She actually had a surrogate carry her eggs. She was 47, I think, when her twins were born. So it's not something that isn't uncommon. And I believe that women who look like us are doing it more so when they're older anyway. Once their careers are established and you're realizing, oh, wow, what's going on with my fertility? This just isn't working. And I give another example, Gabrielle Union, who went through multiple miscarriages, and her body just wouldn't hold her baby. But now she's the mother of a happy, beautiful little girl who's almost 1 year old now. Or if she might have just turned 1 in October, I'm not quite sure. And I don't want to misquote that. But because she had a surrogate carry her and Dwayne's embryo, which I think is amazing. From what my medical testing is, my uterus is absolutely beautiful. Can I carry a baby? Yes. Per the doctors, per everything, that's fine. The problem is, it's just not all working for me to carry the baby. Like I said, I have one club tube. I have another tube that was open. I actually had the procedure done again to see if my tubes were open or blocked. One is still open. So like I told you, I went through several rounds of IUI with donor sperm trying to get pregnant. Now here's the catcher. I am older now, so my chances of producing, now I was on Coleman, so I was actually ovulating, I was developing eggs, but now here's the question. What kind of quality were those eggs? So in the long term, me going through like that almost 10-year slump of, I don't know if I want to be a parent by myself or if I want to be a parent by myself, my quality of my eggs have went down. So it's not a question of why did I wait so long. This was an option I didn't even know was available to me because it's not even discussed. Now it's funny, I came across a video. It's on Netflix. I'm a Netflix and chill kind of person, and I believe it's called The Love That Made You, or the whatever, 9 Months That Made You, or something like that. But it's a documentary about a couple that's in Vegas. No, they're in Washington State. Or Vegas, one of them, who went through IVF. IVF was unsuccessful. IUI unsuccessful. Found an embryo. They didn't even know embryo adoption was an option. Their doctor told them they had an embryo. They put it in her. She got pregnant. It took 6 years because, of course, she wanted a baby to be genetically hers. Of course, she was thinking of, I wanted to look like my husband. I wanted to look like me. At the end of the movie, the baby was born. When I tell you that baby looks just like them. Sometimes I feel like God has a plan for you that you may not even know exists. And sometimes we want things to be ours. We want it to be genetically connected. We want it to just be what we want. But the funny part is, like I was saying yesterday in my vlog, I look more like my stepfather than I look like my father. I have my stepfather's smile. I have his personality. I have his body build because I'm a heavier girl. And that's the funny part because my father is my biological father is 6'4" and slim. Still to this day, 6'4" and slim. My mom is 5 foot, and I think she was in the military also. Her whole military career, she wore a 6. She's really, really tiny. She's gotten heavier now because of course she's almost 70, but 67. But she's actually, heavier now, but she's still small. She's still petite. Everybody in my family is petite. I just came out like, what? But I think that's why my stepfather and I got along so well, because I was daddy's little girl. I looked just like him. Everybody was like, oh my God, that's got to be your daughter. And I wasn't. I'm not. I know who my biological father is, but I love that man so much, and he loved me so much that we look so much alike. So it's amazing that sometimes genetics has nothing to do with it. Sometimes it's just about the love that you can give and the love that's given to you that makes it so different. Granted, I'm all for everybody. Well, I want the child to be biologically mine, or I want it to look like my husband, or that is absolutely, absolutely wonderful. If you have that opportunity, if you have the finances there, and if you have the opportunity. But I'm of the time, I don't have the money like that. I really don't. And how much more heartache can I go through? How many more cycles can I go through and thinking, okay, these eggs are going to work. These eggs are going to work. It's going to work this time. How much money am I going to spend out and it's not going to work? When I know I have, or I don't have, but there's embryos sitting out there that have already been created. They're actual babies waiting. Why can't I just take one of those? Why can't I just use one of those? Why? Because it doesn't matter what they look like and what I look like. I believe it all comes down to the love. So I want to experience, being pregnant. I want to experience birth. I want to experience all that. And because I do, I feel like this is a more viable option than actual traditional adoption. Here's the crazy part about that too. A baby that's already here, alive, will cost me so much more to try to adopt through the court systems that I go broke doing that also. Which I think is a shame because that baby's already here. I feel like that should be so much cheaper because you would want to place a living, breathing child with someone that wants them. But no, everything's about money. It's all about that all-American dollar sign. And if you don't have it, it's the have and the have-nots. Unfortunately, that's what it is. And I just don't have that money to keep getting crushed over and over again, to pay for lawyers, to pay for this. I just don't have it. But I can be the vessel to bring my child into this world at a reduced cost for me. We don't have to worry about everything. Everything's been tested. It's a way to go. And I feel like it's just the more humane way to go at this time when these babies are waiting basically in freezers. They're waiting. How many babies are there that's just sitting in freezers ready to be born? Ready for a nice warm uterus to land and develop, because they're going to develop regardless. Just think about it. What if the embryo I happen to get was produced in 2001, the same year that I was trying to use mine? What if that embryo was produced then? I've heard stories where these embryos were produced in like 2002 and the people didn't have the baby until 2016. So I feel like that baby was meant to be. Their siblings are 16, 17 years old, and then here they are, infants. But these embryos were created at the same time. So it's not a question of why did I decide to do it now? It was, I didn't have a choice. My body was telling me. My mind is telling me. My heart is telling me. I don't put an age on it. I don't feel like I act 46, whatever 46 is supposed to act like. I'm not a soccer mom because I didn't go through that. I have friends from high school who have kids that are going to college. I also have friends from high school who are just having their first children because they went on to go to college, go to graduate school, establish their careers. I actually have several friends from my circle from high school that are just starting their families. They were kind of like me. They were career driven first, then they wanted to start their families. So for me, in my world, it's not uncommon for women in their 40s to start having their babies because that's what I'm used to. You know, I think my mom would have broke my neck if I would have came home at like 19 or 20 talking about I'm pregnant. I think she would have literally killed me just because that wasn't the environment I came from. It was, no, you do this first. My mom has her PhD. My stepfather had his bachelor's. My my real father, has his master's. So I come from educated people. You know, that's what we were supposed to do. That was what the course we were supposed to take. I didn't think anything different about waiting a while or not waiting a while or what's going on. I just didn't expect it to be now. Did I expect to be 45, 46, probably going to deliver at 47 or 48? Did I expect it? No, I didn't expect to be almost half a century. Nobody expects that. But that's where my story is. That is my journey. And I'm not going to knock my journey. If that's my journey, then that's what it is. And I just hope that, you know, whoever you are out here listening to this, see that, yes, I am an older woman. Yes, I'm ready now. I don't feel that if I would have had a child in my 20s, I probably wouldn't have been ready. Honestly, I probably wouldn't be ready. I would not have been ready to be the mother that I would be now. And sometimes you have to wait until you're great to be good for somebody else. Just like they tell you, you can't love somebody else unless you love yourself first. Well, I can't be a mother if I don't even know how to be a mother yet. If I didn't even know what the ins or outs. I've lived my life now. I've traveled. I've been around the world. So why can't I just sit down now and focus on being the best mother that I can be? Hands down. This is my time to be a mother. And I know most people my age bracket, well, this is my time. I'm about to go live my life. Well, that's because you didn't. That's because you had your child young and you didn't have a chance to see the world. I graduated high school in Germany. I've been to Paris. I've been to the Bahamas. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to Alaska. I've been to Japan. I've been to Prague. I've been to Russia. I was actually in Russia when the wall came down. Like, I've been to Africa. I've been so many places that I've traveled. I've conquered. Shoot, I've been to Cairo, Egypt. I've been to Interlake, Turkey. Like, there's places I've been that people only read about in books. So why can't I just be a mother now? Why can't I just buy my home, raise my family, and that be my journey to this point? Because I'm ready to just settle down. Where, you know, people, when they're younger, that's when they want to settle down and then travel when they get older. And that's absolutely fine. But if you realize, if I have the baby next year at 47, okay, by the time I'm 65 and retirement age, they'll be in college, which is a good thing. I can still retire. I can still take trips. I can still, as long as I financially plan to make sure that my child is okay, I can still do that. I still have 20 years to make sure that my child is good. I'm not old. I'm not gray. Well, I got a couple grays. So let's not say not gray. I got a couple grays up in there. But I still have time. It's not like I'm 70 years old. I'm still 20 years from retirement now. So with that being said, and by the time I retire, it's going to be 67. So by the time I retire, my child will be almost done with college. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything whatsoever. I feel in my heart I'm still going to be here long enough to see one of my grandkids or a couple of my grandkids be born. That's wonderful. And if I'm not, that's okay. I experienced the life, and my daughter have enough, or my son will have enough memories of their mother to be like, this is who your grandmother was. And she had me because I was special. She chose me. It wasn't something that was just given. I chose my baby. So that's why I waited. And it's not that I waited. It's just this is when the journey came to me. This is when I realized that this was an option. This is when I realized that this is what I want to do. And this is when I can do it. So it's not about why. It's about why not. Why not? So ladies, I hope this was informative. I hope that, you know, we can walk this journey together. If you're new here, please subscribe. Please thumbs up the video. I hope you really like it. To my new subscribers, hey, Tiffany Jordan, thanks for the feedback. To the young lady who sent the email, I'm not going to mention your name. I hope this was informative to you, and I hope you understand where my position on this is. I want to thank you also for reaching out to me. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you, ladies, for sticking around. Thank you for watching my vlog. You guys have a great rest of your night, because I plan on it. I'm going to get these babies to bed. Then I'm going to get myself to bed because I have a long day tomorrow. But you ladies, have a good night. And I hope we all find our joy. And I hope baby does to everybody. Good night.